How are you spending your summer? At a holiday job? School? How about on vacation? Whatever it is that you do, we urge you to continue to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Keep your surroundings free from mosquito breeding sites and use insect repellent with DEET. It's your favorite magazine program from the Jamaica Information Service. I am Adrian Atkinson. Welcome. We have an information-packed show just for you, so please stay with us.
The government has big plans for St. Thomas as it continues to drive economic growth and job creation. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation invites you to the Hope for Jamaica Town Hall meeting with Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness on Thursday, July 13 at 6 p.m. at the Goodyear Oval in St. Thomas. Come and hear the government's plan for the economy as we build a prosperous Jamaica. That's the Hope for Jamaica Prime Minister's Town Hall in St. Thomas. Thursday, July 13 at 6 p.m. Taking government to you. Brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Building a prosperous Jamaica.
The Aedes aegypti is one of several types of mosquitoes found here in Jamaica and elsewhere in the world. Know them. They are small, dark mosquitoes with white lyre-shaped markings and banded legs. The Aedes aegypti mosquito lives in and around places where people gather and breeds anywhere water settles, such as artificial containers in and around homes and other buildings. It's a vector that transmits the virus that causes a number of diseases, such as dengue, chikungunya, and the Zika virus. Find them, destroy them. Cover water containers to prevent mosquitoes getting inside. Dispose of garbage containers to prevent water settling in them. And frequently check and empty any container that water might settle to ensure these are kept dry. And scrub vessels clean to get rid of eggs. The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Don't give it a home.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Monday, July 10. The Senate on Friday passed a critical piece of legislation that will strengthen government's crime-fighting strategies. The law reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Bill 2017 was approved with 13 amendments. In piloting the bill, State Minister for National Security Senator Pernell Charles Jr. noted that the legislation is part of government's undertaking to safeguard Jamaica.
This bill seeks to balance the need for security and the need for giving the members of the JCF and the JDF certain essential powers that are required to address the serious crimes on the one hand and upholding the rule of law and protecting fundamental rights and freedoms of citizens on the other hand.
Minister Charles noted that the bill equips the security forces to combat rampant and gruesome crime and violence, particularly murders, which have become the norm in too many communities.
These profoundly serious problems have threatened the existence of the rule of law in certain geographical locales in Jamaica. They have deterred investment, destroyed capital formation, discouraged business development, and lowered the perception of Jamaica in the international arena.
Senator Charles emphasized the need for stakeholder collaboration, unity among government and opposition, and the support from all Jamaicans to achieve the desired outcomes of curbing crime. And leader of opposition business, Senator Mark Golding, in describing the bill as an extraordinary piece of legislation, gave the assurance that the opposition is committed to doing everything possible to assist the security forces to maintain the rule of law.
We will not oppose this legislation. We want to see Jamaica move forward to a better place in the same way that all well-thinking Jamaicans feel.
Meanwhile, Government Senator Don Webby says leaders of several private sector organizations have indicated their support for the Zones of Special Operations bill. These, he said, include the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, and the Jamaica Exporters Association.
I'm happy to say that all of them unanimously support this bill.
Senator Webby, while making his contribution to the debate on the bill, emphasized that in order for Jamaica to succeed in the fight against crime, all hands have to be on deck, as the government cannot fix the problem alone.
We have to face the problem with a crisis management response, which means going above and beyond the efforts we have already made. Mr. President, I stand as a leader of the private sector to provide support for any further social intervention programs that will be implemented.
The government signed a memorandum of understanding with Biojam Industrial Research and Development Global Incorporated on Thursday to undertake a feasibility study for the creation of a science and technology park in Jamaica. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Dr. Andrew Wheatley says the study will determine Jamaica's readiness for the park, which will facilitate research and development into new products for the local and export markets. The MOU, the minister says, will establish a partnership in innovation that will support the government's thrust to fuel growth and job creation.
The signing of this MOU signals the government's commitment to take deliberate and strategic steps to fast-track Jamaica's ability to make policy decisions based on scientific research. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, is to ensure prosperity and sustained economic growth for all our people.
The minister says establishing the Science and Technology Park will encourage more of the country's scientists and researchers to stay in Jamaica. The Management Institute for National Development, MIND, will be hosting its Regional Public Sector Leadership Development Conference on July 19 and 20. Participants will include approximately 250 public sector executives, senior public officers, and senior leaders from the private sector and civil society. Speaking at a JIS think tank recently, Acting Manager for Customized Programs Delivery and Administration, Latoya Swaby Anderson, said the conference will cover several critical areas.
It's expected to really challenge the mindsets of our public sector leaders as it relates to making sure that they're in a space or they understand the space in which they're now operating currently, and how the space is changing and the environment is changing as well as we move forward as a country in our thrust for national development.
The conference will also include workshops on the benefits of being an adaptive leader, how to seek out talent within organizations, and how to get multi-generations to work effectively together. The two-day event will be held under the theme, Adaptive Public Sector Leadership, Changing Mindsets, Challenging Assumptions, Creating Transformation at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Persons interested in attending may visit mind.edu.jm for more information. And finally, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, is preparing a national strategy for the development of statistics, NSDS, for Jamaica. This will provide a more coordinated approach in producing and disseminating data. Speaking at a JIS think tank on Friday, Director General of Statin, Carol Coy, said the NSDS will facilitate greater harmonization among agencies that produce statistics.
What we hope that it will do, Statin will provide this coordination, and what we will have is a coordinated system where there is standardization among agencies. We reduce duplication.
According to Ms. Coy, the new strategy will also enable the National Statistical System to better respond to the increased demand for information. The Director General said a workshop is to be held on July 18 to 20. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Grenada last week. He was on the Spice Island to participate in the 38th regular meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government of CARICOM. Get the details next.
Prime Minister calls for full implementation of CSME, urges CARICOM to put crime on the agenda, and signs on to Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Pact. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Prime Minister Andrew Holness had a packed agenda this past week. He represented Jamaica's interests at the 38th regular meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. That meeting was held over 3 days in Grenada. Meanwhile, at the opening ceremony, the Prime Minister congratulated Jamaica's Shirley Price, who was named CARICOM Woman of the Year. Price, a domestic workers' rights advocate, was conferred with the 12th Triennial Award for Women. At the first plenary session of the 38th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, Prime Minister Andrew Holness urged his regional counterparts to fast-track the implementation of the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, CSME. The CSME is billed as the vehicle through which the full integration of the regional body will be realized, as it will see to the free movement of people and trade. But according to Mr. Holness, the process has been lagging for some years. He said though trade had been facilitated, the free movement of skilled labor was still an issue that needed to be addressed with haste.
More work needs to be done by leaders to ensure that we truly have an integrated single market where goods and services, people and capital can move freely. So it is not that we think CARICOM is not important. We think it is so important that we would want it to function as it was envisioned to function. And which is why, instead of taking an isolationist approach, we have taken a strategic approach, which is to test exactly what is it that people feel, what is it that they have as their views and suggestions.
To that end, Prime Minister Holness shared that the report by Jamaica's CARICOM Review Commission would soon be ready for Parliament, after which the regional heads would have access to it. Following a call by Prime Minister Holness, crime will now be an agenda item for CARICOM meetings. Mr. Holness made the call during a plenary session, pointing out that a collective effort was needed to tackle crime as it affects all facets of life.
I think that if our governments were to pool our collective resources in terms of analyzing the problem, looking at the epidemiology of the problem, that we may be able to put in place synergistic solutions that could attenuate, if not bring a resolution to these problems.
Prime Minister Holness also agreed to have a report on crime for the next CARICOM intersessional meeting scheduled for Haiti in February 2018. And with Jamaica holding the chairmanship of CARICOM for the 39th regular meeting, Mr. Holness said the issue of crime will be fully discussed.
Jamaica thought it beneficial and relevant to our interest in ratifying and signing on to the agreement to establish CICRE. This is a Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency.
With the July 5 signing, Jamaica joins other small island developing states to advance efforts in addressing sustainable energy issues and solutions. Prime Minister Holness and his regional counterparts also discussed the ongoing situation in Venezuela.
We want to see a resolution. We want to see peace and prosperity for the people of the Bolivarian Republic.
And the possible fallout in aid and grants to the region from Brexit.
We take the position that we should continue with the CARIFORUM arrangement, as that would be the most efficient way of ensuring that there is no fallout from the United Kingdom leaving.
Delving into an issue closer to home, Prime Minister Holness examined the significant impact of non-communicable diseases, NCDs, within the region. While pledging Jamaica's support for efforts to stem the proliferation of NCDs, Mr. Holness spoke of the island's move against smoking and the consumption of sugars.
We discussed the issue of using fiscal measures, taxation, and to consider seriously the application of taxation on sweetened drinks.
The 38th regular meeting of CARICOM was also the venue for bilateral talks between Jamaica and the United States. On July 6, Mr. Holness met with Acting U.S. Deputy Secretary of State and Undersecretary for Political Affairs Thomas Shannon. The two spoke on ways to strengthen several multilateral and bilateral agreements covering trade, investment, and security. Prime Minister Andrew Holness left the 38th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting assured that the regional body was on a much firmer footing and that the leaders were in one accord, focused on making the Caribbean a place of peace, security, and prosperity. That's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us again next time for more news out of the office of the Prime Minister.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
It's said that children who are not actively engaged over the summer holidays can lose up to 3 months in reading and mathematics. Here's how you can ensure that your child stays ahead of the class during this period.
Wow, what a school year that was. The pickups, the drop-offs, the exams, the classes. Oh, I'm so glad for the break. Thank you, summer.
But wait, all play and no work is just as bad as all work and no play.
Studies suggest that mathematics and reading suffer significantly during the long summer months when students are away from the classroom. We don't want our children to suffer from summer learning loss. We want to help them maintain their academic development and possibly learn new skills over the summer break. Here are some workable ways to prevent the summer slide. Summer school and camps are sure ways of keeping your child active during the break from school. Not only are they educational and recreational, they may also help grow your child's interest in a particular area. As parents, we should take the time to read, write, and spell with our children. That way, their minds are constantly engaged. For older children, have them write reports on the interesting books they've read. And with that, your children will be ahead of the class when they're asked to write an essay about their summer holiday. What's more, all the parish libraries have a summer program that your children can be part of. In addition to reading sessions, the library offers embroidery, art and craft, performing arts, games, tablet tutorials, and computer training. Math is all around us, so there's no reason for the learning to stop when classes end. On the road, you and your child can take turns making up math problems and answering them. At home, cooking and baking can help with measurement and fractions. You can create summer jobs for your child with house chores that you pay for in cash or kind. Children can also take up gardening. Items on the grocery list can be added, subtracted, and multiplied. Games are also a good source of incorporating math into your child's routine during the summer months. You could try football, cricket, hopscotch, card games, and dominoes. And not only do games keep our children's brains sharp, being physically active reduces their risk of becoming obese. Jamaica is awash with parks, museums, zoos, and other cultural locations. They can help your child with civics, history, and integrated studies. There are also cultural events taking place during the summer months, including emancipation and independence celebrations. Aside from learning about our culture, the most important benefit from these excursions is spending quality time with our loved ones. For children going to a new school or a new grade, introduce them to their new books. Have them read stories and practice math problems. Parents can also make flashcards with their children and by so doing, revise all that they've learned over the weeks. Children may explore their creative side by making a movie on a smartphone or tablet. There are also tons of free educational websites that can help children stay on top of their learning throughout the summer.
When I try these, my children will definitely be ahead of the curve.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Summertime is all about family, and what better way to spend quality time with your loved ones than at an attraction tucked away in the beautiful parish of Portland.
It's no secret that Portland is one of the most beautiful parishes in Jamaica. Perfect for the nature lover who yearns to relax and unwind in a pristine environment. A string of beautiful beaches and falls are to be found in the picturesque parish. One of these is Reach Falls, which has been operated by the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC, since 2007.
Welcome to Reach Falls!
The falls is situated on the Drivers River, approximately 33 kilometers east of Portland's capital, Port Antonio. There are several interesting stories surrounding the origin of the name Reach Falls. Some have claimed that it was named Reich, spelled R-E-I-C-H, after the previous German owners, while others have claimed that the falls derived the name from the triumphant shout of slaves, "We reach! We reach!" when they obtained freedom. Some say it was named after the Reach district. Regardless of how the name is spelled or derived, one thing is certain: visitors can look forward to a memorable experience when they visit the falls. The 4.6-hectare property boasts tremendous natural beauty, a peaceful atmosphere, an engaging waterfall, significant biodiversity, and an ecological sanctuary. Prepare to embark on an adventure. Enjoy the cascading falls, explore the astounding underwater cave, and swim in the heart-shaped jacuzzi, which is naturally formed. The water is crystal clear and the scenery spectacular. But wait, there is more.
In addition to the falls, our guests can look forward to our nature trail upstream, as well as our relaxing picnic area. As it relates to the nature trail, it's a tour of about 30 to 45 minutes, and our guests enjoy the glistening waters of the Drivers River, the lush greenery of the forest environment, or the sound of exotic birds chirping away. The nature trail ends in our underwater cave, which is a spectacle in itself. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
This breathtaking attraction is the ideal venue for several activities.
If you're planning an outdoor event, then Reach Falls would be the ideal location. We are able to host events such as birthday parties, anniversary parties. We can also accommodate business meetings and even weddings.
Those who have visited the attraction agree that it is a trip well worth the while.
Reach Falls was amazing. We brought our whole family, age 5 to age 8, and everyone was able to do it because we had this incredible guide, Canton, who took us up. And my youngest is not a strong swimmer yet, and he made sure that she got through every little spot, and the kids had just an amazing time.
I had a lot of fun. There was hiking and there was also some swimming. There was We got to go under a waterfall, and it was just a lot of fun.
Reach Falls was just beautiful. Really amazing wonder of the world. It's just so, the water is so blue, everything's so clean. It's such an adventure. Our children just loved it. It was really wonderful.
Reach Falls is open to visitors Wednesdays to Sundays and on public holidays from 8:30 to 4:30 at the affordable cost of $300 for Jamaican residents over the age of 12 and $150 for Jamaican children between the ages of 4 and 12. For non-resident visitors, the cost is $10 for those over 12 years and $5 for those aged 4 to 12 years. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen in Jamaica's attraction sector. For further information on the development projects being carried out by the UDC, you may contact them by calling 922-831-024 or visit their website at www.udcja.com. You can also visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
And that's how we draw the curtains down on Jamaica Magazine. But only for today. We return tomorrow around about the same time on this station. We're always available online, so visit our website, jis.gov.jm or on youtube.com/watchjis. There's also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now a mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.